So guys, are you thinking of moving here in Portugal, or are you looking for a job right now in Portugal? Maybe just curious about the work culture here, then you may want to stick around. Hi everyone, my name is Gerame. I'm a Filipina living here in Portugal. I'm a full-time corporate employee here for a couple of years now. And in today's video, I'm excited to share to you some of the things that I have learned so far while working here, and hoping that this will also help you if you're finding a job or starting a job right now in Portugal. And guys, before we dive into the video, I just want to emphasize just a disclaimer that this is solely based on my personal experience and I don't speak for everyone. So if you have had a different experience working here, please feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section below. First up is the job market in Portugal and where you can find job postings, right? So I think that if you are looking for a job or you just arrived here and now you're job hunting, it is important to understand the job industry or the job market in Portugal for you as well to assess which sector would your skills and expertise would fit. Based on my observation, I have found that there is really a growing demand of tech professionals, particularly in the biggest cities of Portugal, which are Porto and Lisbon. The tech industry here in Portugal is one of the Euro's fast-growing ecosystems. The startup here is vibrant and also there's a strong emphasis on innovation. Now, in terms of my recommendations on where you can find all these job postings, what I can suggest is LinkedIn. I think that it's a very useful tool. I also used only LinkedIn when I was searching for a job a couple of years ago. And also I will link websites in the description below. Also, this is also a site here in Portugal where they put some job postings. Okay, next is about language. As you know, Portuguese is the official language of Portugal. There are a lot of jobs in Portugal that do not require the Portuguese language proficiency. There are a lot of jobs here that requires English only speakers. Also, there are other jobs here that requires other European languages as well. So take note that if you're looking for a job in hospitality or government maybe, or banking, or I guess any other jobs that caters mostly the local or primarily the local, may require Portuguese proficiency, which makes sense, right? Additionally, I mean, living here, you may want to also integrate yourself into the community, right, and their culture. And one of the things you can do is really learn the basic Portuguese. On that note, I'm not fluent in Portuguese. I did study Portuguese language. If I go out in the grocery store or order something, I can say it in Portuguese, but I cannot really fluently have a conversation with a Portuguese. Personally speaking, Portuguese is not an easy language, honestly, but then it's a really beautiful language. And guys, Portuguese people are really nice. If you talk to them in Portuguese or you try talking to them in Portuguese, oh my god, you really like it. Next up, guys, public transportation. I know, I mean, it's not really a surprise to me, but I want to share to you because I really like the system here in Portugal. Especially using public transport is probably one of the mostly used as a way to commute to work, right? So when it comes to public transport infrastructure, I think that Portugal has a well-developed system. The country offers a variety of options and including an extensive network of buses, trains, and metros. Public transport in Portugal is reliable, and I think it is one of the cheapest public transportation fare in most of European countries. I've been to different countries already in Europe, and I can tell you Portugal is really the cheapest that I have ever tried. Here, they have this, they call it a Viagem card. So it's our public transport card. It has your information and everything and full name. It has my photo as well. And so you can see the card has like this chip. So reloadable card, yeah. So this card will expire in 2030. You reload this or you load this for 40 euros per month. So it depends on you. If you think that you'll be traveling a lot, then 40 euros is totally worth it. This one works, mine of course, since we are in Lisbon, it works in Lisbon Metropolitan. That includes from Lisbon Center to Sintra, and then Cascais area, and also in the South Bank. This card doesn't work if you are already outside the Lisbon Metropolitan. For example, if you're going to the small town, so you have this intercity train, well, you need to pay a bit more, but it's not really as expensive. This is an unlimited card. Unlimited meaning you can use this in trains, metro, trams, boat, buses. Those are the major public transportation here in Lisbon. So 40 euros, totally worth it, especially if you're traveling to Lisbon every day or going to work, commuting to work every day. This is probably the cheapest thing that you can have. It's really a lifesaver. Next is workplace culture. So how is the workplace culture in Portugal? Generally speaking, I'd say that the workplaces or Portuguese workplace reflect the company's hospitality and friendliness. However, guys, please keep in mind though that the workplace culture and company culture are kind of like they're closely intertwined together. Yeah, it doesn't matter where you are born. I feel like the workplace culture is being shaped by the company's culture. So, for example, the company values are different from each other. The leadership style is also different, and the employee engagement. Those things can impact really the workplace culture. So, but working though with Portuguese colleagues, like they're very hardworking, very smart as well, very creative people. They love having coffee. They're very cultured. They love their country a lot. This one, guys, is women in or any gender and racial discrimination at work. I know that this is a very sensitive topic, but I want to really share my thoughts on this one. As a woman working in a tech industry and an Asian working in a European culture, you might be wondering how is my experience in that area. I want to make it clear that what I'm sharing right now is solely based on my experience and not intended to speak for everyone. So over the past couple of years working in Portugal, I have been fortunate not to experience any racial or gender-based discrimination either at work or in my daily life. For example, in my company, they are actively driving women empowerment program, which I have greatly appreciated, and I was also really actively involved with. And then on the racial front, I also haven't experienced any discrimination either. Also, the company is committed to raising awareness, providing training, understanding on gender equality, diversity, and inclusion. And honestly, as an employee, like in my perspective, these efforts reflect or just shows a strong commitment to creating an inclusive and respectful workplace, right? So that is for me very, very important. And knowing that the employees can openly discuss these topics if they feel like they were discriminated or something like that. There are places in the company where they can actually raise this type of issue. Here in Portugal, there is a law about this that can help you as well. We call it the discriminatory labor practices, which I will put the site in the description box below. It includes not just gender-based discrimination or racial discrimination at work, but also harassment at work. So if you're interested or if you're working in Portugal, you may want to familiarize yourself about this topic. So guys, the next topic is probably the most asked question since I started work-related videos in my channel. It's related to salary. So let's talk about salary. The minimum wage in Portugal is 820 euros. Actually, guys, I was quite surprised when I first heard about this. I was really expecting a bit more, higher than 1,000 euros. However, it is important to note, and again, this is probably the same in all other countries, right? Salaries can vary widely depending on the industry and the role you are in, or your skills and expertise. If you're a senior professional, junior professional, it really depends on salary. For example, the tech roles tend to pay well. I have a couple of friends who worked in the tech industry and they say the same. Also, I do have a couple of friends here who works in the other industry like real estate, insurance, call center, and they are also earning higher than the minimum wage. So I think there are jobs in Portugal, or there are other fields in Portugal still that offer lower wages compared to other Western European countries. When it comes to benefits in Portugal, most companies offers 13th and 14th month pay. And then the other benefits that I really like is the non-taxable meal allowance. So most companies offers meal allowance here, something that is separated from your salary, so you can really maximize the amount. It's not taxable at all. So you can use this meal allowance, you can use it to pay for any, in a restaurant where your card is credited, or you can use it in the grocery. So my husband and I, for example, we both use our meal card allowances in groceries, and it's a big help, guys, believe me. Other benefits usually include health insurance, and some companies offers pension, retirement, company cars, or any gas allowance, a gym membership. They offer profit sharing, stocks, so many things, but it depends on the company. It's not standard. It's not standard across all companies, really. So vacations. Let's talk about vacations in Portugal. Vacation policies in Portugal are quite generous. You get a minimum of 22 days of paid vacations per year. And also here there are additional days off. Some companies have bridge days, sabbaticals, and volunteering. The maternity and paternity leave are also well supported. Guys, next is about tax. It's not something new, but I think that being in Portugal, if you just started working or you just moved here, understanding taxes in Portugal is really crucial. The tax system, as how I understand it, the tax system includes a progressive income tax rate. So meaning that the higher you earn, the higher your rate, or the higher you're paying IRS. So if you're just starting, I think that, if you don't have any idea about this at all, I suggest that you ask any financial advisor, your P&O, or even call IRS just to understand the tax schema, right? So here as well, just like any other countries, you have a different tax rate if you are single, for example, or you're married with kids, married with 3 kids. You pay different tax. It has different tax rates. And at the same time, if you're a digital nomad, for example, digital nomads have a different tax regime as well. Non-habitual residence program, if you're a part of this, or as how they call it in HR, they also have a different taxation regime. I want to share something as well. This is very funny because, well, back in the Philippines, I've been working for quite some time already. I paid my tax there, but then guys, I have never memorized my tax number, nothing at all. So I didn't hear I memorized it really by heart. So if we purchase something, any purchase I make, I give my tax number. Next, guys, is cost of living. So just a note, cost of living may perceive differently depending on your personal expenses, maybe, right? So, but then what I'll be sharing is really mainly a general comparison based on also the countries that I have been to and living here in Portugal for quite some time now. The cost of living in Portugal is relatively moderate if you compare it to other Western European countries. From a tourist perspective, Portugal seemed like one of the budget-friendly destination. So many tourists that goes here, they find it so cheap. I have so many colleagues from other European countries, and they see Portugal as probably one of the cheapest countries they have ever visited. But again, in my case, that's a tourist perspective because they're also somehow comparing it from their country. For example, most of my colleagues are living from Switzerland. It's a little bit expensive over there, and when they go here, they find it really cheap. And if you are from the UK or if you are from Germany, you really find, in your perspective, this is really a bit cheaper. But if you're a local, actually someone living here, working and living here, this may be a different story, really. It's quite expensive if you live in the big city, especially if you're renting, because the rentals very expensive here in Portugal. Well, if you go to the smaller cities though, this may be cheaper. Okay, next, guys, is work-life balance. One of the most important things that I have learned while working here in Portugal is the value of work-life balance, which I have come to truly appreciate. And guys, back in the days, I just want to share, when I was in the Philippines, I had a really, really bad work habit. So work-life balance is really not a thing to me. Until I moved here, right, until I started working here in Portugal, it really, really changed my mindset about this topic. Portuguese work culture offers or places an emphasis on maintaining a balanced lifestyle, and this is reflected as well in the reasonable working hours and the significant focus on personal time. So here they give importance as well to your mental well-being. Many workplaces in Portugal offers flexible working hours and an option to work from home. And of course, guys, this option of going to work from home, it depends really in the industry you are in as well, right? That is given. Last but not the least, it just being here in Portugal, being here, living here, working here, is quite rewarding. Portugal is widely regarded as having a high quality of life, favorable climate. It has 4 seasons. Winter is not as cold as other European countries. The weather is quite manageable even if it's cold. When it comes to healthcare as well, Portugal has a well-regarded healthcare system. Safety, guys, Portugal is considered one of the safest countries in the world. Culture richness, I think that Portugal has a rich culture heritage with a history that spans centuries. Did you know, guys, that Lisbon is one of the oldest cities in the world? It's actually oldest than Rome. It's really cool that they managed to still keep that part of Portugal being integrated, to the new world. So that's really, really, really nice. Food in Portugal is really good. I feel like Portuguese people really knows how to cook. They have really great food. And then the natural beauty of the country. Guys, they have so many great beaches, though it's cold, especially if you are in the mainland because it's the Atlantic water. But then during summer, it's kind of like really tolerable. But then if you go to Madeira, for example, I think it's really beautiful there. I haven't been there, but oh my God, if you've seen the photos, so pretty. And also Azores, you might experience different things in there. So it's a beautiful country overall. And that wraps up everything that I have learned so far while working and living here in Portugal. I hope, guys, that you learned something. If you have any questions or if there's anything specific that you'd like to know more about, please drop a comment in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. See you next time. Ciao.